welcome back to another episode of Dead Men Walking.
Got our live audience out here.
Yeah, we got a live audience out here. We're Fight Laugh Feast. It rolls on.
Number 2.
We're on interview 99.
Yep, pretty much.
It feels like.
Yep.
Just 2 days of absolute madness, but good madness.
Yeah.
And we're in Rapid City at the Fight Laugh Feast conference, or rally rather, in South Dakota. And we have a special guest on today. He's part of the Fight Network now. He's got a new podcast out, or well, new to their network, maybe not new altogether. Has a new book out called Life is Hardy Har Har. Stand-up comedian John Branyan. John Branyan, how are you, sir?
I'm so much better than I was before I sat down and started talking to you guys.
Oh, a little sarcasm. I like it.
Immediately, and that's not sarcasm. You have enriched me already.
Well, we were going to sit down with you 45 minutes ago, but someone decided to take an extra long lunch break.
I know.
I don't want to mention any names.
That I couldn't keep. And
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
I have been a Christian person my whole life, and I've been a stand-up comedian for the last 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't something new for you.
No.
Been doing it a little bit.
I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. It was a career decision that I did not make.
Okay.
And it basically followed me, chased me down and tackled me.
Yeah.
And
Really?
yeah, some people struggle to know what God's will is for their life, and I struggled with not really caring what God's will was, and having him just sort of hit me over the head with it.
Yeah.
And so
So you've done clubs, you've done probably regional and probably big tours and stuff like that in the 30 years?
Many clubs. I've done cruise ships. I've done lots of corporate events. I've done hay wagons. I've done gazebos. I've done
Family rooms.
church basements, family rooms, patios.
Anywhere there's an audience,
Right,
right?
any
When you're a
place.
stand-up.
Or where there's not an audience.
Yeah,
Well, there's- yeah.
right.
Well, if there's not an audience,
Those
at
are
least
usually
if you're getting
college
paid.
shows.
As long as I get paid, right? I've that are not really that responsive. I've said, you know what? I don't even need you people here. So if you're as bored as you seem,
Hey, look at it. It's Nick walking into our shot. What's going on? Say hi to the camera there. The reformed sage. Maybe you should jump on in here.
You know, Nick.
Yeah.
You can come in, Nick. Don't turn
That's
camera.
hilarious.
He looks
We'll
like
get you here in a few.
Yeah.
Nick looks like Joan DeVivo from Casting Crowns.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, he does actually. Yeah.
Am I kidding? I'm not kidding. He looks.
It is fun doing these live shows. So for people listening, we're obviously at a convention center. There's people walking around. We kind of get to know everyone, and some people don't always see the camera setup, which is fine. That happened all the time in Nashville last year. But John, getting saying, I know Jay, internationally touring musician, so it was look. He did it on purpose. He just wanted us to say Lord. One of the episodes. I know.
Purpose.
You're coming on later, buddy.
There, and he walked right in front on purpose.
This is a comedy one though.
Yeah, this is a comedy.
Egos.
Okay,
this is funny.
Yeah, people keep walking in front of our shot. Hilarious. Gosh, no. But Jason is a touring musician. He's always said that too. He's like, you just show up and you're like, hey, this is where I'm at this week. Like all kinds of colleges, different places, backyards, right?
Yeah, wherever they needed us at, I mean, and if somebody was like, just do a song. It's like, it gets to that point too. I'm sure people say to you, tell us a joke, Mr. Joke Man.
Be funny. Be funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, your Be Funny is his Freebird.
Yeah, right.
There's one guy in the audience.
One guy in the audience just, heckling like, Freebird.
Do people ask for Freebird?
Oh, totally.
Oh,
man.
really?
Oh, yeah,
Come
man.
on.
Yeah, totally.
That's a commitment. If they're willing to commit to listen to Freebird, that's
right.
So what we're saying is be funny and go. You're actually you're going to do a little set for us later tonight at the Fight Laugh Feast.
After dinner.
Awesome.
I'll be doing something.
Tell me a little bit about this book. Because I see the copies flying off the table there at your booth.
They're flying off the table, and that's concerning since there's nobody there to take money.
Uh-oh.
The book is the response to being asked over the years many times, how do you think up your material? Where do you get your ideas from?
Number one question,
Yeah, and so I would say, oh no.
Yeah.
For many, many years, I go, oh no, it just said, and it occurred. I felt convicted a little while back that I should have a better answer than that. I should have some idea of what's going on when I'm creating material, and so I sat down and over the course of a few years started making notes and analyzing what's going on in my brain, and the book is the response to that question. And how does comedy happen?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Infused with it is the message that your sense of humor is either it's going to make your life better, or your life is going to suck if you don't have a well-developed sense of humor. And a lot of Christian people don't have a well-developed sense of humor.
We were talking about that offline a little bit. Like we, they don't like to be offended, but boy, they can become offended over some things.
Correct.
And I know you and I were even talking about comedy and what its role is. And look, I firmly believe that the arts belong to us, right?
Yeah, they do.
They don't belong to the world. They belong to Christians. God created them for us. Every chord, every seventh, every comedy, every painting, every sculpture, we redeem it and we do it unto the glory of God. And sometimes I feel like you get a pushback from Christians a little bit when your comedy, isn't kind of that middle of the road sappy comedy. If it has a little edge to it or a little bite to it, or it's making a statement that's thought provocative, sometimes I think churches and organizations shrink back from that. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah.
I like that laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the provocative is a bad word in church now.
Yeah.
Christians are basically you're not doing God's will. You're not doing God's work when you are provoking people to think about things. When you provoke people to have some sort of a visceral emotional reaction to something, that is not good. Yeah. And I think that that's basically a mistake. I think that we are compelled to. Jesus did that. Jesus provoked people everywhere he went. And the book of Acts, you read the book of Acts, every place those salty apostles went, there were people throwing them in jail and whipping them. And then somehow in 2021, we read that and we go, I think we're supposed to be nice so that everybody kind of likes us. Like, do you think Paul was wrong? Do you think Jesus did it wrong? He just wasn't decent enough in his candor that. No, I think that you're going to get into trouble if you say the truth. But the advantage that we would enjoy if we learned how to do comedy is that we could say really offensive things to people and make them laugh. Yeah. So they're actually less likely to be upset with us because they kind of like us.
Yeah. Right.
Because we're funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. There's something about that too, comedy and how it can kind of ease a situation sometimes. It can open up, what's the word I'm looking for? It can open up the communication between people. Excuse me. Yeah. It's been a long 2 days. Just had a brain fart there.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll edit that in post. No big deal. I need my.
That was actual.
We need to have a drop over there that's like a fart.
Brain.
Let's.
Do you not have one?
Yeah, right.
There we go. You have to have a fart drop.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, man. Well, a few weeks ago, I was on the highway, and there was a couple of deer that just darted out of nowhere, and there was a semi truck just barreling by me. And on my brakes, the two deer just went under the semi truck, like blood and guts all over the place. I mean, just all over. The traffic just stopped. We were all freaking out. Anyway, I jump out to see what's going on, make sure everybody's okay, and luckily everybody was fine. But
except for the deer.
Yeah. Everybody's fine except for the deer, and that's all I could think to myself. While I was just standing there looking at this devastation was, I'm still balding.
Denied.
Nope, that's not a good one.
Exactly what comedy does. That's exactly what it does. It sees the same situation as everybody else, but from a slightly different angle.
I am still losing my hair, he says.
I am still balding.
So what kind of stuff do you focus on in your act? Is it family stuff? Is it life stuff? Is it what are you talking about?
Well, every everything is religion. Everything that matters is religion. And so my stand-up is basically about religion, which encompaces everything that you mentioned above.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
It's
what about those Buddhists?
Yeah, just life in general, and how when you have the proper attitude. That's why people ask the question, how do you think of material? How do you think of material? I just live life. I just live my life, and I keep my eyes open, and I pay attention to stuff. Like it is extremely introspective to be aware of what you're thinking. When that semi hit those deer. You know, that's what a comedy brain does. A comedy brain goes, you're always aware of what you're thinking in a situation. Most people aren't. Most people go through, I just knocked over this thing. Most people go through their circumstances, and they don't respect and think about, what they're thinking.
Yeah, you can get a tight 5 just by, people watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But if you make yourself one of the people, and you just observe and report. That's all stand-up is. Here's what happened to me. This is what I thought about it, and people laugh. And why do they laugh? Because most people aren't doing that.
Right. Yeah.
And when you tell a really effective joke, when you tell a really funny joke, people nudge each other and go, "Oh, that's true, isn't it?"
Right. Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. It's like,
absolutely.
We're all experiencing this. I'm just the one that's talking about it.
Right.
So as we're wrapping up here, why don't you throw out the name of the podcast and give us a little information on what it's about?
The podcast is A Comedian Next Door, and it is myself and mostly my daughter, Amanda, who goes by the Peaches.
Okay.
And we started a podcast about 4 years ago that was just a conversation around our kitchen table with our family and our friends and so on. And we thought, well, we're funny people, and so the conversation might be of interest to folks. And so it's an iteration of that podcast. Basically, we've got 3 main sections that we deal with on the Comedian Next Door. The idea is that we are your comedy resource, and we live right next door to you. So if you have a need for sage advice for how your sense of humor can be applied to your life, just come over and knock on our door, and we will be happy to have a conversation. We've got a segment called Good Grief, where people will write in and tell us about the pain in their life, and we will explain to them what's funny about it.
That's a good bit.
Yeah, it's called Good Grief. And then we've got Peaches in a Whirl, which is where my daughter gets her underwear in a knot about some sort of or political or religious issue, and she rants about that for a little while. And then we have John Branyan's Hill to Die On, which is our final segment, and basically I just plant a flag every week and say, here's a thing that I will not be moved on, and that's the result of having many people in the culture. If you take a stand for anything, they'll say, "Oh, is that a hill that you want to die on? Is that a hill you really want to die on?" And my response is, I don't know. Is that a hill that you're going to kill me on?
Right.
So, I mean, if you're going to try to kill me on this hill, then I guess we're going to have.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
But I think that there are. It's become a bad thing, even in Christian culture, to proclaim that this is a hill that I'm going to die on.
Right.
And I think we should. I think we should be saying, I'll stand on this principle. I'll die for this.
Absolutely. Well, John, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, introducing yourself to our listeners. Guys, it's John Branyan. Make sure you check out that podcast. We'll link you up to all of our stuff, too, so people can jump over, check out and check out the book as well, too. We'll make sure we give you some love there. We love our Christian comedians, and we got to support them. Well, just comedian that happens to be a Christian. I don't like the label on the front there.
I don't either. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Next time.
We agree about that. We didn't even talk about
it. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and as always, God bless. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Dead Men Walking Podcast for full video podcast episodes and clips, or email us at deadmenwalkingpodcast@gmail.com.